I'm beginning to think my school is racist because I was kicked out for having an afro. I was kicked out of school for having an afro, guys. That is so racist right now, like.
St. Andrew High School for Girls just shook things up with a bold new grooming rule. No edges allowed. Their official line? Hairstyles must be neat and school-ready. And in their words, curtains belong in the house, not on foreheads.
They just take me back to the old days, back when I was in Nigeria. Story time.
I get dirty thoughts about you. They get worse when I'm without you. Does that mean that I'm going to hell?
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. How are you guys doing? So guys, my name is justifications. If you're new here on this channel, we do a lot of sit down video, more of reacting to videos we've seen online. But this particular video is kind of interesting because it takes me back to the olden days when I was growing in Africa. So for you guys that don't know, I'm from Nigeria, but I'm currently living in Belgium. Back then when I was in Nigeria, we do not grow hair when we are going to school, especially in the secondary school. We are always on low cut. It was when we're like there's GSS and there is SS. It was when I was in like SS1, that was when we were allowed to make our hair, but in a certain styles. Every week we change our hairstyles. So I thought maybe they've changed, but I think it's still going because I have a lot of videos online which I'll be reacting to. So let's get in the video.
Did you know that in 2025, students going to senior high school in Ghana have to cut their hair as part of Ghana education requirement? The video of the student cutting her hair in order to go to Yasantua Secondary School has been making the rounds on social media.
Why is it in this day and age still, African young girls and even young boys have to cut their hair just to go to school? What kind of nonsense is that? Did they not know that this is going back to the colonial period, and yet they're still upholding this? Yet they say, oh, we're independent, we're proud. Are you really proud? I don't think you are. Now, this girl specifically is in Ghana, going to a school called Ya Asantewa Senior Girls School. I think it's a boarding school, maybe. And before she enrolled, she had to cut her hair off. Some of them go bald. I'm like, what's the purpose behind this? It all goes back to the European colonial period. The Europeans noticed that the African hairstyles and hairdos were a symbol of status, pride, and identity. And obviously, to strip that, what do? You tell them to cut it off. Missionaries went into these places and tell them, oh, your hair's not good enough. It's unkempt, it's bad, so you have to keep it bald because God wants you bald. Imagine that.
The issue British schools have with black hair is honestly not spoken about enough. So this is how my school stopped me from wearing my natural hair. This was in 2014. I was in year 7. And basically at this point, my hair wasn't actually out, but my braids were expired and I couldn't get an appointment for the half term. So I was in PE one day just discussing with a friend how I'm gonna just have to wear my afro out. And my PE teacher at the time, you know the people that are just below the head teachers? So like he's like someone of like high authority. He was my PE teacher. And I was just talking about, you know, having to come into school with my afro. And my hair wasn't even this big at the time. So he was just eavesdropping on our conversation. And he was like, oh, I don't think that's wise. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, because your hair is too big and people cannot see from behind you. Those were his exact words. You know, I was only one of 4 black girls in the year. I didn't really have a voice for myself, so I couldn't really fight back. Because like the same thing happened to my brother. He had like a number 1 and he was put in isolation at his school for having his hair too low. And as well, like the way that the school used to chase us down with hair colour. I came in one day with like a really dark brown and they said that it just wasn't natural enough. I had to take it out and I said, is it you that's going to pay for my braids? Because this is £60 hair. And you want me to take it out because it's not a natural hair colour. Dark brown wasn't even bad. People were coming in with blue highlights and you weren't saying anything. I was even too scared to even tell my mum about it. I just said to her, like, I need to get my hair done, like, as soon as possible. So yeah, from that moment, I was like, I don't want to get put in isolation. I don't want any of that. So I just never wore my natural hair out to school. I would always just wear it in a bun. So
I thought this was only happening in Africa, like Ghana. I thought maybe it was only in Nigeria, but I get to find out that it's also happening in Ghana. Imagine that little girl that have this beautiful and long hair. She had to cut her hair in Ghana, all because she's going to senior secondary school. And also they're also complaining in London, and it's also happening in Nigeria. I thought we were free from slavery, but I think we are still enslaved in our own country, whereby they don't allow girls to be free. I don't know what women did to this world. Women are one of the important creatures in this world, but the way it's going, it's like we are still in slavery. Why would you let a girl trim her hair all low? Why? Because she is about to enter the senior class. It's crazy.
The school wouldn't let my daughter in because of her hair. This morning was supposed to be a fresh start. It was my daughter's first day back after suspension. We walked up to the school, but before we could even get through the door, security stopped us. They looked straight at my daughter and said, "I'm sorry, she can't come in here with that hair. It's against the rules." I thought I misheard. Against the rules for her hair? My daughter has a small curly afro that's the way her hair grows naturally. I asked them what rule they were talking about. That's when they pulled out a piece of paper, something that had supposedly been updated overnight. It said no extreme hairstyles. But my daughter's natural hair is not extreme. I told them this is her first day back and you're going to embarrass her at the door. You're making her feel like she doesn't belong here. My daughter just stood there, holding my hand, trying not to cry. Other parents were watching. Some shook their heads, some whispered, and my daughter kept asking me quietly, "Dad, why can't I just go to class?" I marched her straight to the office. I told the principal, if this school thinks it can block children from learning because of their hair, then you've got a bigger problem than a dress code. Even the principal looked shocked. He said he didn't even know the policy had been added. He promised to look into it. But here's the truth. My daughter deserves to walk into her school without being humiliated, without being singled out, and without being punished for who she is. No daughter should be turned away for her natural hair.
I don't really understand what is going on. I just thank God for the country I'm living in, which is Belgium. I've not really seen any racism when it comes to hair, because I go everywhere with different colors of hair in this country, and I've wear like hash gold, red, blue to my working place, and the only thing they say is like, "Oh, beautiful." Like, I've not seen any atom of racist when it comes to hair in this country, and I'm so proud of that, because now I have a daughter. I don't want any stress. I'm tired. Like, I can imagine what the little girl went through. I can imagine what she went through. Like, she's being sent back home because of what is growing from her scalp, her curly hair. She was born with it.
The Equality and Human Rights Commission in Britain has come out to say that banning afro hair in schools is probably illegal. Why this is not totally illegal, I don't know. To quote them exactly, they've said that school bans on hairstyles such as braids and cornrows are likely to be unlawful if they don't give exemptions on racial grounds. But someone tell me, why are we still policing our kids to this extent? Like, why? Why? It angers me and infuriates me so much that kids with afro hair are still discriminated against. And I don't have afro hair, so I can't even imagine what they feel like. The article talks about about a few different things, but one thing it does talk about is in 2020, the Equality and Human Rights Commission funded a legal case of a teenage girl who was constantly being repeatedly sent home because of her afro hair. The school was sending her home because they said that her hair wasn't of reasonable size and length. What? I swear I don't understand why the UK is so obsessed with making kids look a particular way at school. I used to get told off for wearing the wrong colour hairband, but to actually get sent home for something that's part of your human nature, I can't even fathom it. But on the bright side, at least there are people working towards fixing this. There's a parliamentary group that is calling for discrimination towards people with afro-textured hair to be officially classed as racism. And they also want to introduce laws that enable hair texture and hairstyles to become legally protected characteristics. And you would think that having a brown prime minister would help us expedite all these things, but don't even get me started on that.
They should allow our kids enjoy themselves. It's not nice. There's a video I saw about Ghana. Let's play it.
There's an ongoing debate in social media about haircuts and size and length of hair in secondary schools. We will not tolerate it today. We will not tolerate it tomorrow. And so long as we are molding character, if we give in to hair today, tomorrow it will be shoes. And the next day it will be the way they dress. Therefore, as part of our disciplinary measures, headmasters and GES, you are accordingly empowered to take full control of how students behave on your campuses. So anybody who thinks that your child will walk into any institution of learning as if that child, forgive my words, was to attend a beauty contest, the school environment is not for that purpose and not cut for that purpose, and would not tolerate that as an institution.
In Nigerian public schools, female students are not allowed to grow or plait their hair while in school. It is one of the rules of the school that secondary school female pupils should not grow or plait their hair, and some of the reasons are to have control over the female students and to promote unity and decency so that everyone is seen as equal. Do you think these reasons are valid? What are your thoughts on this?
I remember back then in school, my dad used to say we should cut our hair because he don't want any man to be looking at us. He don't want any guys to be looking at us. I just feel that's really not nice because hair is is part of us, you understand? So I don't really know why we are cutting our hair just to fit in. I don't understand. Hair or no hair, a man can hit on you. I swear.
Remembers the times back in primary school when you couldn't even come to school like this, or secondary school days. If you came to school with your hair looking like a werewolf, looking like the Lion King, that's what I'm looking at right now. I'm looking like a madman right now. Start waving line. I'll still take a little, but as I was saying, though, that ain't even the point. They even have your hair looking like this in school because the teachers will think, oh man, ghetto, something severe is going on back home at yard. They'll be thinking of going through a crisis. They'll be thinking, this guy, like, he's not a well-kept youth. Especially for us black guys, black youths. If we step to school like this, we're looking at the most roadest youths. Like, we'll be getting questioned. Obviously, my hair wasn't even this long back in school, innit? But, no, back in primary school, my hair was long. But secondary school now, I never had no issue with my hair looking like this. But I just thought to make a video in it because he remembers those days there where your hair was just, your hair will be out. But you know, low key, you want to come to school with this hairstyle because you're thinking, you know.
Stop. For me, I think they should stop. They should allow kids be kids. They should allow people to grow their hair even when they are going to school. You know, it does not really matter. Even in South Africa, they are saying no more edges. Like, I don't really know where this is going. I don't know. But for me, I think this is not fair. This is not fair to the kids. It's not fair to a girl, black child. It's not fair to them. They are treating them as if they are slaves. In Nigeria, I was not making my hair when I was going to school. It was after my secondary, like I was approaching university, is it university? That was when I started making my hair. By that time you can make your hair, but when you are in the secondary school phase, you have to cut your hair. We still have this mentality of slavery. We are free, but for some reason we are still enslaved. They don't allow the African girl child to embrace their natural hair. What is wrong if they take their afro to school? Okay, they braid the hair. I also saw a video where they were cutting out the boss braid. There was no boss braid allowed in school. You don't want them to bring boss braid. You don't want them to bring their natural hair. What do you want them to bring to school? I don't understand. For me, I found this really not nice, and it's quite painful. I am so happy for the country I am in. They don't say that. Even when I take my son to school, I see a lot of African kids with afro. They are going to school. If here in Belgium, if they see you with afro, they'll be playing on your hair. Like, they are so curious. They're always on my son's hair, touching, like they are so curious here. So there is nothing like, I don't even think that there's ever going to be a time here in Belgium where they will say no more afro. You guys should let the girl African child be. It's too much. This is a pressure that needs to be stopped. Let them embrace that. Let them go to school with their natural hair, with their afro. It's part of who they are. That is what is growing out of their scarf. Is this scarf? Yeah. So I don't know what you guys think. You guys leave your comment down below and tell me what you think, if this is okay by you, because for me it's totally wrong. I don't know how those kids are feeling right now. For me, this is bully from the school. That's what I think. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.